I think people need to understand what farming is all about and what would happen if the farms weren't there and where our food comes from. So it's all about education for me. My name's Jonathan Fell and I am CEO and owner of the ice cream farm at Tatton Hall. As a family, we moved to Tatton Hall, to Drumlin Hall in 1982. We started manufacturing ice cream in 1986 when milk quotas were introduced. There's been major changes over the years, from very humble beginnings, low investment into some ice cream making equipment, through to a full-scale large visitor attraction that now attracts over 400,000 people. So we decided to start diversifying into ice cream in 1986, mainly because milk quotas were introduced, which restricted the amount of milk we could produce on site. We looked at various dairy products, but at that time there wasn't any real dairy ice cream, or very little farm-based real dairy ice cream being produced in the UK. There was one up in Yorkshire, but there seemed to be a real gap in the market. There wasn't your Ben & Jerry's and your Häagen-Dazs like there is today. So that was the decision to go with ice cream. I think the key to diversification really for the farmers nowadays is being innovative and looking what else is happening. There's more and more farm shops, which is great, but I think we really need to be looking at what isn't out there in the rural areas and on farms, and give people a reason to come to the countryside and look at that local economy and use agriculture in lots of different ways. So yeah, challenges with farmers ultimately, from my understanding, is the fluctuation in milk prices, and it's quite conflicting for us, because whilst we are a farming family at heart, we are purely an ice cream manufacturing company now and a leisure attraction, and the high milk price is bad for us whilst it's good for farmers, and a low milk price obviously increases our margin for our product. So it would be nice if it would just stay consistent, and then we all know where we are and we have a consistent margin, and so the farmers, and I think that's what we would look for in a perfect world. So back in the early days it was still a working farm. We milked the cows on site, we used the milk on site to manufacture the ice cream. As the ice cream business grew, it became apparent that we had an opportunity to expand, which I guess more and more pushed the working farm out. Today we still manufacture using the milk from cows that graze the fields around the site, but it's actually manufactured on the neighbouring farm, and rather than just going across the farmyard to collect the milk, we do just go around the corner. But it still works very much the same, and we're helping our nearest farmer with his business. In terms of the consumer knowing where their produce comes from, I think it's hugely important. We do pull in a lot of people from the surrounding areas, up to 2 hours drive. The local produce is crucial. We've probably moved away a little bit from that educational piece, which is quite contradictory for me to feel like I'm talking now, but it really is crucial that we explain about where our produce is coming from, and we've got a platform here at the ice cream farm that we can bring people to the rural area on days out and explain a little bit about how the rural community works. Whilst there are things like Clarkson's Farm and things like that do shadow a light on farming, I think some more realistic explanations of what farmers do go through. There's a perception from a lot of the general public that farmers drive around in Range Rovers and have lots of money and they own very expensive properties, but it's very, very hard work, and I think people need to understand what farming is all about and what would happen if the farms weren't there and where our food comes from. So it's all about education for me. We need to be self-sufficient, and I think farming is crucial to that, and it's completely vital, and I think we need to get back to basics and recognise how important it is.